in charge of Skid Row Housing Trust has a concerning history. LA Times reporter Liam Dillon worked on this story. He joins us now with more on this. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So what happened, first of all, with the Skid Row Housing Trust, and what is its status?
Right. So the Skid Row Housing Trust is a nonprofit housing provider in the Skid Row neighborhood, the largest there. They have 29 buildings that they were owning, and then over the past year or so, there have been a series of financial problems leading ultimately to their collapse, and that really affecting the tenants there more than anybody else. You've had situations where the plumbing is so bad that tenants have had to use the toilet in buckets. Security is so lax that intruders at night are jiggling, the door handles to get in of people's rooms, and so it was really a crisis situation.
And so, what did you find out about this particular person?
Right. So what the city ended up doing was wanting to put all of the properties, all 29 owned by Skid Row Housing Trust, into a receivership, meaning that the person they would put in charge would have a tremendous amount of control over the building's operations, ideally getting the buildings up to snuff and then turning them over to other landlords who'd be able to run them as low-income housing. However, what we found is that this receiver, a gentleman named Mark Adams, who's been in the business for over 20 years, has a bit of a concerning history. We looked at projects that he was involved in Fresno and East Los Angeles and Eureka, up and down the state, and we found in cases in which he was involved, there have been situations where scores of tenants have been faced eviction after his work, and also some property owners have lost their homes.
And so has he ever been disciplined for any of these things? How did you find this information out, and will there be any consequences?
Right. So there's a bunch of court records. We found in one case, the East LA case that I referenced, that there was a judge who he said he violated his responsibilities to that property owner. The property owner ended up having to have her house sold and got little of the proceeds while he, tried to walk away with over $500,000 in that case, and the judge cut his fee by half. There have been other cases where the judges have removed him, from this work. And so, as far as the Skid Row Housing Trust case, we'll see. The city attorney, Heidi Feldstein Soto, city attorney of Los Angeles, told us that, Mr. Adams has had, a lengthy record, lots of experience. And when they were looking in a crisis, he was sort of the only one that they thought they could turn to. But they also, did not formally vet his resume and had not uncovered some of the concerns that we did in our reporting.
Wow, that is concerning that you're finding things out that his employers didn't find out before hiring him. And of course, the homelessness crisis is impacting all of us in Los Angeles. How are we seeing what's going on with your investigation and the things you discovered playing out on all of our streets?
Well, I think it's a real risk. These are some of them. They're formerly homeless tenants that are in these 29 buildings, roughly 1,500 of them. And these are folks who are, very much at risk of going out onto the streets. And so whatever work Mr. Adams and the rest of this process ends up resulting in certainly will affect the fate of those tenants and also, the sort of homeless crisis writ large in the city and in the region.
All right, Liam, thank you so much. Really good reporting there, and we appreciate you being with us. And you can read this full article by scanning the QR code on your screen. You can also find the segment on our website, kcalnews.com/SeenOnTV.